Good morning. I welcome you to today's class. Now, today we are going to discuss about the topics of chapter current electricity. The topic names are internal resistance of cell. Then we'll discuss about the EMF and terminal potential difference. And in the end, we'll discuss about the combination of cell. It consists of series combination, parallel combination and mixed combination. And also see that how the maximum current can be drawn from a cell. So let's start. Now let's start with the first topic of today's lecture. This is internal resistance of a cell. Okay. This internal resistance cell is noted by small r. Okay. So let's first understand how the cell works. This is a cell. We have made it symbolically. In this cell, we have two electrodes. One is negative, other is positive. Okay. This is filled with electrolyte. Electrolyte is a substance which dissociates into ions whenever dissolved in water. So it is filled over here. Okay. Now, when a cell is connected to a circuit, it maintains the flow of positive charges from the higher potential to the low potential. Okay. So basically, it maintains the flow of charges in the circuit. Now, for maintenance of the electric current, okay, these positive charges, once they have moved from high potential to low potential, they have to move from the low potential to the higher potential through the cell. Okay, it is done with the help of the chemical energy on the expense of the chemical energy of the cell. Okay, now it is seen that whenever electric charges moves from the negative electrode to the positive electrode, they have to move through the electrolyte. Okay, and at that time, whatever resistance that is observed or offered by the electrolyte to the flow of charges, that is called internal resistance. So we have the definition here. It is the resistance offered by the electrolyte of a cell to the flow of the charges between its electrodes. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the factors those affecting the internal resistance of a cell. First factor, that is the nature of the electrolyte. Okay. It depends upon each electrolyte. It can be less or it can be more depending upon the type of electrolyte you are using. Number two, small resistance. This is internal resistance is directly proportional to the distance between the electrodes. For the electrodes, more than the internal resistance. Okay. Third, internal resistance is inversely proportional to the common area of electrodes immersed in electrolyte. Okay. So you can see here, this is the area which is immersed in the electrolyte. So more the area will be there, less will the internal resistance. Okay. Fourth point, smaller or internal resistance is directly proportional to the concentration of the electrolyte. Now what happens? Look, lesser with the concentration. Concentration basically means that you are making it more dilution. Okay, you are doing it dilute by adding more water. More water means less concentration. Less concentration means the charges will move faster. Okay, and faster charges mean internal resistance is smaller. So basically you can say in simple language that dilution of the electrolyte offers, you can say, or gives more mobility to the charge carriers and hence internal resistance decreases. So R is directly proportional to the concentration. Lesser the concentration, less will the internal resistance. Okay. Last point. Small r, it is inversely proportional to the temperature of the electrolyte. More the temperature, less will the internal resistance, or you can say R increases with the decrease in temperature of the electrolyte. Okay. So we are done with the factors affecting the internal resistance. Now it comes to the next topic. This point that for internal resistance cell, okay, that whenever we use the lab, for any kind of electrical, you can say as practicals, we always prefer to the use of a freshly prepared cell. Why? Because the value of internal resistance small r is quite low for a freshly prepared cell as compared to an old cell. Okay. So keep in mind that a freshly prepared cell has much lower value of internal resistance. That is what is preferred. Okay. Okay, we start the next topic. It is the relation between the internal resistance and EMF of a cell. So let me remind you about the definitions of EMF and other terms. First of all, what is EMF? To explain this, we have drawn a circuit here. This is a cell whose internal resistance is small r. Okay, it is connected between 2 points A and B. Through this circuit we have connected an external resistance capital R, through which a current will be flowing if this circuit key is switched on. Okay, right now it is off, so there is no current. Suppose there is no current. When no current is there, in that case, whatever work, what is the potential drop between the terminals of a cell, that is called your EMF. It is here. Basically, EMF is defined as the amount of work done in moving, bringing a unit positive charge along the closed circuit from here to here. It can also be defined as the potential drop across between the two terminals of the cell in an open circuit. Now, what is open circuit? When this key is switched off, okay, then in this case, this circuit is working in such a way that no current is drawn from it. So in a circuit where no current is drawn, that is called a open circuit. So in open circuit, if no current is drawn, the potential drop between two terminals of the same cell is called the EMF. Now the second definition is, in case, suppose we switch on this key. Now this key has been switched on, current starts flowing as I and here I. So this is called a closed circuit when current is been drawn from the cell. In such cases, if we just take the reading of this, reading between the two terminals A and B, okay, the reading of this voltmeter in a closed circuit, that is called the terminal potential difference. In open circuit, this reading is called EMF. In closed circuit, this reading is called the terminal potential difference. So it is the potential drop across the terminals of a cell in an closed circuit. It is denoted by capital V. Okay, so let's move to the next step. Now next step, EMF, that is work done bringing unit positive charge along the closed circuit. It can be divided into two parts. First, it is divided into two parts as work done moving unit positive charge from point A to B against the external resistance R. So this is the work we are talking about from A to B. Okay, similarly, work done moving, this is putting plus work done moving unit positive charge from point B to point A. From point B to point A against the internal resistance small r. This can be written as E equals to V plus V dash. Okay. Now put the values. If current is equal to I, then work is written as IR. Okay. Here, if V dash is the amount of work against the resistance small r, it will be equal to I into small r. Take I common. We have E equals to I capital R plus small r, or you can also write it as R plus small r equals to E upon I. Okay, or in the end you can write it as small r equals to E upon I minus capital R. Fine. Now see here V, that is called terminal potential difference, is equal to IR. Okay, so we can put the value of I here. How much the value is? This is small r equals to, I'm doing it on the other side, that will be fine. Here, so we have here small r equals to E upon I. That means we can write V upon, this is V upon R minus R. So this can be written as E upon V multiplied with R minus R. So result is E upon V minus 1 into capital R. And this is the relation between the small internal resistance and the EMF. Okay. Fine. The first relation is here. Now take this as relation number 1. Similarly, we can put one more relation. Okay. I am writing here. Suppose we start again and we see that we have E equals to IR plus V. Suppose we don't change it. We write E equals to V plus I into small r. In that case, we can write V equals to E minus I into small r. This is relation between terminal potential difference and the EMF, and it shows that V is always less than E. Okay? Why? Because whenever current I is flowing through the circuit, V is always less than E. But if I is equal to 0, okay, right here, but V is equal to E for I equal to 0, that is an open circuit. Okay, that was the definition. Open circuit. Fine. So we have done two relations here. First is the E, small r and E. Second is V and EMF. One thing more, we know that at our home, almost all of us have an inverter. Okay, inverter is actually having a DC battery, and that is charged by the external current. So what is here, that during the charging of the battery or the cell, it is always seen that the terminal potential difference is always greater than the EMF. Okay. So during this case, only is a special case. Only in this case, the terminal potential difference will be greater than the EMF. Otherwise, during discharging, it will be less. Okay. So remember that during charging of the cell, terminal potential difference is greater than the EMF. Now let us discuss about the graphs. First is EMF and the external resistance R. In that case, you can see when the graph is plotted, it can be easily observed that EMF is independent of R because it's a straight line whose value remains independent of the increase in R. So E is independent of external resistance R. But second important graph is between capital V and R. The second important graph is between terminal potential difference and capital R. When this graph is plotted, it can be seen. This graph shows this kind of behavior. Okay. Now why this happens? Because we have V is equal to I here, put the value of I here, and can result in this form. So ultimately, it shows that terminal potential difference will increase with the increase in R. Let's see how. We are rubbing this for your reference. The result is here. First, when R tends to 0, so V is also 0. Second, when capital R is equal to small r, in that case V becomes equal to half of the EMF. Third case, when R is very big, that is infinity, that V becomes equal to how much? This is 0? No, this is becoming, taking the maximum value, which maximum value is equal to E. Yes. Okay. You can see the graph also. When R is 0, V is 0. It is equal to small r, it is equal to E by 2, half of the EMF. And it increases so high, this becomes infinity, then this becomes equal to E. I am writing it here. Okay. Third is V versus I graph. We have V equals to E minus I R. Okay. Now, if you want to plot a graph between V and I, okay, for that purpose we'll take a little bit of modification right here. This is V equals to minus I, we write minus R I plus E. Okay. Now this can be compared as comparing with y equals to mx plus c, we have y equals to v, x equals to I, m equals to minus r, and your c equals to EMF. Using these values, we have this is v, this is I. When I is 0, the value is maximum. So we are starting here from, this is the E value, and goes on decreasing. Okay, the slope is equal to minus r. Okay, m is the slope. Then we have along the x we have I, along the y we have voltage. Okay, now the graph is clear to you people. Okay, fine. Next is the discussion of combination of cells. The first one is series, in which each negative terminal is connected to the other cell's positive terminal. Similarly, this negative terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the next cell. This kind of arrangement is called series combination. Whereas between the same 2 points, if we connect 2 or more cells like this, that is said to be in parallel combination. Now we'll do the further calculations to find the resultant EMF or resultant equivalent resistance. Okay, let's start. First discussions about the series combination of cells, in which we have taken 2 cells of EMF E1 and internal resistance R1. This is the internal resistance of cell shown separately. This is the second cell of EMF E2 and the internal resistance is R2. Okay. Now we know in series combination the potential difference gets you can say distributed. So let me say the potential difference, or you can say the terminal potential difference between points A and B. Let it be equal to V1, and which is equal to E1 minus I R1, where I is the current flowing through this circuit. Current will remain same because in series combination the same current flows throughout the circuit. So this is the expression for the first cell only. Okay, terminal potential difference was V1, EMF was E1, I is current, and R1 is the internal resistance. Okay, similarly, terminal potential difference between points B and C. That is, you can write it here if you want to write. That is, this is BAB. That's fine. We write BBC equals to, this is E1 minus, this is E2 minus I R2. For your reference, you can write it as BB minus, this BA minus BB. This is fine. Similarly, you can write here, this is equal to VB minus VC. Okay. Now, the terminal, or you can do one thing. For simple cases, you assume that between points A and C, we have connected a single cell. We are assuming that instead of connecting two cells in series combination, we are connecting a single cell whose EMF is equivalent and internal resistance are equivalent. Okay, this cell can replace the effect produced by these two cells in series combination. So in that case, we can say that if the current flowing is I, we have potential drop. This is terminal potential drop between points A and C. That is V AC equals to VA minus VC equals to equivalent minus I to R equivalent. Okay, fine. Equivalent is the replacement of these two cells in series combination. So it is, if this is the cell that is replacing these two cells, then equivalent is the equivalent EMF of the series combination. R equivalent is the equivalent EMF of this series combination of cells. Okay, fine. I'm writing it here for your reference that equivalent is equivalent EMF of series combination, and this is R equivalent, that is equivalent is internal resistance of series combination. Okay. Now, if we take this equation as 1, this as 2, and suppose this I take as 3. So I need to put the values. So let's put the values here. This is the equation. We have V AC equals to V A minus VC. Okay, introduce something here, minus VB plus VB minus C. This can be written because VB minus VB is 0. So on introducing this, we can have little bit of arrangement. What do you got? You got this is equals to VAB plus VBC. Fine. So in the end, we have VAC equals this result. Now put the values. This is E equivalent minus R equivalent equals to, this is E1 minus IR1 plus E2 minus IR2. Result is E equivalent minus R equivalent. This can be rearranged as E1 plus E2 minus I can be taken as common, R1 plus R2. So from this we got the result as okay. Now we have E equivalent is equal to E1 plus E2 and R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2. This is for 2 cells, so that for n cells in series combination we have E equivalent as E1, E2 up to En. And if we have n number of cells in this series combination, the internal resistance will be R1, R2 up to R10. So this is the final result for the series combination of cells where we have found the equivalent EMF and equivalent internal resistance when they are connected in series. Okay. Now in the next discussion we'll have a series combination in which we have connected n number of identical cells in this arrangement. Okay, this is a series arrangement. Now here what happens? We have connected n number of cells, each having EMF E and internal resistance small r. This series combination is connected to an external resistance named as capital R. Okay. So in this case, we need to find the conditions for maximum current drawn by the circuit. In which conditions the circuit will draw the maximum current? That's all. We write total resistance of circuit, that is R plus small n into R. Why I am writing this? Because the total resistance of this combination is NR and external resistance is capital R. So total resistance of circuit is capital R plus small n into R. Next, total EMF of circuit, that is E dash equals to n times E as per the previous discussion. Okay. Now current drawn is equal to I, is given by total resistance upon total EMF, total EMF upon total resistance. So it will be total EMF, that is E dash upon total resistance, that is R plus n into small r. This is n into small e divided by R plus small n into R. Okay. Next. So this is the condition for the current drawn. Now discuss in which conditions the current will be maximum. So first we will discuss cases. First, now suppose n is very much greater than nr. Then what will happen? Then I will be equal to, this is Ne upon only R. Okay, because R plus nr will be nearly equal to R in that case. Okay. So write here n times E upon R. Okay. Now this can be written as the n times the current that can draw from one cell. N times the current okay. Similarly, in the second case, if r is very small as compared to small nr, then r plus nr nearly becomes equal to nr. So I equals to n times b divided by n times this. Cancel. Result is this. So comparing both the results, you will see that current drawn in this case is maximum. So result is the current drawn will be maximum only if r is very much greater than nr. Okay. So in this case, current drawn will be maximum. You can compare the amount of current drawn in both the cases. So in this case, the current drawn will be maximum when the external resistance is much more greater than the total resistance of the series combination. Okay. Notice down. So maximum current is drawn only if r is much greater than small n to r, or equivalent resistance of the series combination. Now next we will discuss about the parallel combination of two cells connected in this way between 2 points A and B. So here these are 2 points A and B. In between these 2 points we have connected two cells of EMF E1 and EMF E2. The respective internal resistances are R1 and R2. The current flowing from here is, let it be I. I current is coming, it is just actually passing at this point, get distributed as I1 and I2 as it happens in the parallel combination. Again becomes equal to I. Okay. So here you can see we have two parts. Okay. So one thing is clear, that the potential difference between points A will be same. So we'll write, let V is terminal potential difference between points A and B. Okay. Now we have V equals to, that is for the first cell. This is true for the first cell. Terminal potential difference is equal to EMF minus current into internal resistance. Okay. So we can write here I1 equals to E1 minus V divided by R. We can solve this. Take whole thing here, V that side. If you are not feeling okay with this, I'll just do that step for you. That is I1 R1 equals to E1 minus V, and then we have I1 equals to E1 minus V divided by R1. Okay. Take this as the result number 1. Similarly, also we have V equals to, for the second set, E2 minus I2 R2, or we can prove that this I2 is equal to E2 minus V divided by R2. This is relation number 2. Okay. But in this case, we have total current I is equal to I1 plus I2. That is okay. Now we can write it as I equals to, this is E1 minus V divided by R1, E2 minus V divided by R2. This from 1 and 2 we can write it here. From 1 and 2. This can be rearranged in this form. E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2. V can be taken common and we will take it as V upon R1 plus V upon R2. This form can be changed. Okay. Now, if we take this as R equivalent, okay, so we put I equals to E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 minus V 1 upon R equivalent. Okay, you know what is meant by R equivalent. R equivalent is one upon R1 plus 1 that is called equivalent resistance of parallel combination of R1 and R2. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. This is 1 upon R equivalent equals to 1 upon R plus 1 upon R2. Take the inverse, R equivalent equals to inverse of this. That's fine. Now, some more change has to be done. If you note it down this diagram, I am drawing this because I need more space for the solution. Now we have I equals to E1 upon R1, E2 upon R2 minus V upon R equivalent. Interchange this. We have V upon R equivalent. Okay. See, from here we got this result. So V upon R equivalent is equal to E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 minus I. Then we have V upon R equivalent equals to, no, don't write equivalent here, simply V is okay. So V equals to E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 minus I multiplied with R equivalent. Okay, so this is the final result you are looking for. How? Suppose we say that between the 2 points, this was that, so I am drawing this diagram here. Now, take this as number 3. Now we have between the same 2 points A, we connect a single cell, okay, whose EMF is equivalent and resistance are equivalent. Okay, so in that case we can say that V equals to E equivalent minus I into R equivalent. This is 4. Comparing 3 and 4. We have E equivalent equals to E1. Do one thing, first we write R equivalent. R equivalent equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2, or you can write it as R equivalent equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 minus 1, as we solved earlier. So, okay, result number 5. Next, we have multiplied with R equivalent. So what we will do, we will write it in simpler form, that E equivalent upon R equivalent is equal to E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R, and leave it as such. Okay, this is result number 6. Okay, so in case we have parallel combination, then we have this kind of result for the equivalent resistance and equivalent EMF. So we can solve this for a case in which we have connected so many cells of same type. Let's see. Case. Do one first. For N, for combination of M cells in parallel, we have E1, E equivalent upon R equivalent is E1 upon R1, E2 upon R2 up to EM upon Rn. Fine. Okay, and R equivalent is 1 upon R equivalent is 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 up to 1 upon Rn. Okay. Next thing. Now we need to prove that in case we take identical cells, m number of identical cells connected in parallel, how will we obtain the condition for drawing out maximum current? So next is discussion about that. Okay. Next is the discussion of m cells, identical m cells connected in parallel combination. So first of all, we find the total current that is drawn from the circuit. So first step, we have E equivalent upon, so first of all, sorry, this is R equivalent is 1 upon R equivalent is 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 up to 1 upon Rm. That is 1 upon R equivalent is 1 upon R up to m times. Result will be 1 upon R equivalent is m by R, or we can say R equivalent is equal to m by small r. Okay, so we say the total EMF of the circuit is total resistance of the circuit. For that purpose, we need to connect one more thing here, that is a EMF resistance, external resistance of value X, capital R. So we have said external resistance circuit is R plus, this is R equivalent, so R plus m by R. Okay. Next, total EMF is E equivalent. So let's solve for this. Now we have E1 equals to E2 equals to up to EM equals to E. So we have E equivalent divided by R equivalent is how much? This is E upon R plus E upon R up to m times, which comes out to be m times E upon small r. Now we know one thing, let's just have to multiply it on this side. So what we have, E equivalent is equal to m r into R equivalent, which is equal to, this is m by, just a minute, we had made some mistake, sorry, there's a mistake here, it should be R by m. So it is R by m, this is now R by m, cancel this, result obtained is E. So we can say that equivalent resistance here is E. So what we have, the total EMF of the circuit is E, as we have proven here. This is the proof. Okay, so it means doesn't matter how many cells you connect in parallel of identical type, the total EMF remains same. The next thing is to find the current drawn. So current drawn in circuit, that is I equals to E equivalent divided by total resistance R plus m by R. Okay, R by R is again R by m. So it is equivalent upon R plus R by m. The result comes out to be E. This is the result. Result for the total current obtained in parallel combination of identical cells. Now see the two cases here. From that result we have obtained case 1 and case 2. In case 1, when R is very much greater than R upon M, or the equivalent parallel resistance, In that case, this becomes equal to R. Denominator becomes equal to R, and current becomes equal to E upon R. This is the result. But in the case 2, when R is very much less than R by M, this reduces to R by M. I equals to E upon R by M. This is M into E by R. So you can see here, comparing the two currents, that maximum current is obtained when R is very much smaller than the R by M. That is second case. Okay. So note it down. Maximum current is obtained when the external resistance is very much smaller than the total equivalent resistance of the parallel combination. Now we'll discuss about the mixed combination of M into N times cells. These all are identical cells. We'll see. Suppose N cells of EMF E and internal resistance R. Okay, we have taken cells of EMF E, internal resistance R. As such, N number of cells are connected in series in each row. Okay, and M such rows are connected in parallel. Each row contains N cells of same type, and such rows are repeated N times. Okay, this kind of combination is called a mixed combination, and this whole combination is connected to external resistance R. And the current from here is this I. So we need to find the expression for I first of all. So let's take, we say total resistance of each row, that is N times smaller, then total resistance of parallel combination, of mixed combination, of M into N cells, whole cells, that is equal to, normally we would take M upon R. In previous case we have taken, this will be equal to NR upon M, because in the previous case we have seen this is total resistance of each arm divided by M. So this is NR upon M. Now total resistance of this circuit, that is R plus NR by M. Next thing, total EMF of the circuit. You know, first of all, need to find the EMF of one arm, that is N times E, and if they are connected in parallel, it remains same for all the arms. So this will be equal to N times E, because in the previous case we have seen whatever is the total EMF of one arm, it is taken for the whole circuit. So this is N times E. Now total current drawn is given as I, which is equal to N times E divided by R plus N R by M. Let's try to back a little bit back. This is E upon capital R plus N small r upon M. With little bit rearrangement we can have, this is M multiplied with R and into R, so this goes up. This is M times E. Okay. Now this is the current obtained in the mixed combination. Now one thing is clear. To draw out maximum current, this denominator should be minimum. So let's discuss how, in which case the denominator can be taken to be minimum as possible. Now proceeding further, we have now current is equal to ME upon MR plus NR, that we already discussed. Now we'll discuss about the conditions for drawing out maximum current. Now for I to be maximum, this denominator should be small as possible. So let's see. Now what we have is MR plus N into small r can be written as root of M capital R square plus root of N into small r square. This can be further written as MR plus root of N small r square minus 2 times MR
and small r plus 2 of mr and root of small mr. Why? Because
this can be converted to a square plus b square minus 2ab. For that purpose, we have added and subtracted this quantity in the end, which will not be making much difference. But here we will just create a little rearrangement. See how this is happening. We write now mr plus n small r. This is a square plus b square plus 2ab minus 2ab. This can be written as minus, whole can be taken square, plus root mr root nr. Okay. Now, for mr plus nr to be minimum in this result, root of mr minus root of nr square should be equal to 0. In this result, whole result, if this becomes equal to 0, the value becomes very small. So we have taken the condition. This is root mr minus root nr equal to 0. We have taken root on both sides. Then root of small m into r equals to root of n into small r. Squaring both sides, what we have mr equals to nr, or we can write capital R equals to nr by m. Okay. So from this result we can say that I will be maximum when, shifting it here, when, comma, external resistance R is equal to total, or you can say, yes, total equivalent internal resistance of the mixed combination, that is equal to n times small r upon m. Okay, this is the condition for drawing out maximum current. You can go through it first. Okay. With this, we have ended our today's theory work, and this was the last theory topic we are going to discuss today. That's all. Okay, thank you.